Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Chainlink, see what's going on, of course, help understand best practice, big picture, all that wonderful stuff. And just know I've been trading for a very, very long time. Kind of a dinosaur in the industry, and I can tell you it's really awesome, easy, comfortable lifestyle. So I hope that I can teach you something here today. You can learn as much as you can. If you want to learn more, CryptoCache.tech is the website, link in the description below. I send out signals for every single trade that I take. It's fully automated. You can kind of check that out, see if it works well for you. But also, bear in mind, I do provide a trading academy, which to me works very, very well, getting you a foundation of being a better trader. So all good stuff there, an amazing community at your back as well. And speaking of community, this is a request from one of my community members. Thank you so much for requesting that I cover this here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the one-day chart and work our way down. So if you're new to the channel, just know that I always like to take a bird's eye view and then kind of look a lot lower, so to speak, or closer. That's what we do. We stick specifically with the 1 day, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour charts. Those are kind of my go-tos there. If I'm day trading, I'll use the 5 or 15, maybe even the 1 minute, but generally speaking, we're gonna just kind of keep it simple here today. Let's take a look at the simple moving averages. Speaking of which, we've got both moving averages trending above and below. That's actually a very comfortable place. We like the 50 to be below because that'll inevitably give us a golden cross, whereas the price action will intersect in upward fashion. Commonly, you see a nice sharp increase from there. And what that basically just implies is that usually a trend will start with the 50-day moving average. So for example, if we look on the 4 hour time frame, we'll probably see a 50-day SMA working concurrent with this trend line. And it's just something to acknowledge, right? So just keep that in mind. In fact, why don't we go ahead and draw out this trend line here as well, kind of see what that might look like. All right, so we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. But generally speaking, the 50-day SMA being below the price action is good. We can see the price is slowly creeping up to 70 on the RSI. If we can break through 70 in the RSI, we're going to probably see Chainlink continue to progress higher. It's doing very well. It's making higher highs and higher lows pretty obviously. Taking a look at TD sequential though, we are moderately overextended. And I say moderately because this really isn't that terrible of an overextension when you think about it, because truth be told, we have a lot of consolidation right here. So we should actually technically have a reset, but it doesn't show on TD sequential. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But the fact of the matter is, it's slow and steady. This is a nice, very, very healthy type of pattern. Okay, so generally that's what we're looking for, is a staircase up, over, up, over. That's kind of the concept. Parabolic increases are not comfortable. They're not good. They're not ideal. They don't allow continuous growth because this is giving us good volume too. And there's not a lot of, tremendous amount of beneficial factors that come from that, versus just these sharp increases and decreases. Those really are not fun at all. I try to avoid those at all possible. Anyways, Chainlink is looking very good in that sense. RSI, once again, very good. Taking a look at the 4 hour, let's quickly identify here as well. Obviously, we had a convergence here on the MACD where it kind of bounced. That just kind of reaffirms the fact that we're still, the bulls are still in control. That's really all it's telling us. And again, the MACD isn't the end-all be-all. You should never use that for your decision-making, but it should kind of help you understand that, hey, we're on the right side of tracks. Some people use stochastics on the RSI. I prefer, kind of the combination of what I use here. Again, everyone has different strategies, and that's perfectly fine. But looking at the 4 hour, though, we can kind of see 70 on the RSI working as a potential resistance, and we're getting close to that now. So we might expect the price to kind of continue sideways from here, but the likelihood of it doing that is fairly low, and the reason why I say that is because we tested this resistance level here once previously. If we can get this 4 hour candlestick to close above 1805, then it'll kind of confirm for us that we've broken that little resistance there, that tentative resistance here. And that could confirm that we might push through 70 in the RSI. Do we want to do that? No, we want to probably go sideways a little bit further because again, this is slightly overextended. And when I say slightly, let's take a look at this here. You can kind of see that even though we got a reset, we've had a continuation here for the last, 36 hours maybe, in that range. But you can see it's holding true to this trend line too. So again, the more often you test a trend line, the better off you're going to be, and that's definitely looking good. And this is what I was talking about too as well. I mentioned this. The 50-day SMA, look at that. That trend line that I drew, it's working perfectly with the 50-day SMA. So just something to acknowledge here. This trend line will continue until it doesn't. And that's just kind of the way that trends work. So until it doesn't work, then I would say continue to believe and anticipate the price will go up for a link. That's just kind of the bottom line. And with this 50-day SMA working concurrently with that trend line, that reaffirms the fact that we're on the right track, the right side of the tracks more so, and that the bulls are essentially in control. Even though, yes, there are corrections that occur, big picture, the price is overall moving higher. That's the kind of the takeaway here. Okay. So again, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen a pretty solid continuation of the upside. And that's looking very, very good. All right. So again, great stuff there on the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour though, let's go ahead and quickly identify here. We're at a 6 on TD sequential. So we do have technically a few more hours left of continuation. It's not over exhausted by any stretch. If we look at the Ichimoku cloud, we do have the price above the cloud, conversion line above the baseline, of course, lagging spans for a clear price action. So this is giving us all green signals too as well to maintain our position. It is also kind of telling us that we could open a position as well, because once again, we are breaking through this barrier and we are essentially consolidating at support. Hopefully we can get more consolidation here too. I think it's a little premature just to jump in and to take a long position to the upside. Be cautious with that. It could pull back because it is, we're at a 6 out of 10, so to speak, or 6 out of 9. So, I mean, yes, it could continue for the next few hours, but a pullback is probably expected in the next 24. So I'd recommend maybe kind of waiting to take entry depending on your overall position and what your anticipation is for this coin and how you're planning to invest, really, because there's a lot of different strategies you can employ. Long-term, dollar cost average, of course, wherever possible. Chainlink should be big eventually. It has proven to be very big in the past. If we take a look at its highest point, $53, that's pretty significant. Granted, Bitcoin was trending closer to about 60,000 at that point, so we just kind of got to be realistic in the fact that we're not there yet for Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin is doing some really good stuff. It's consolidating at a key level support right now at 46,000. The more volume we get at that price point, the better we're going to be, and the more beneficial we're going to start seeing coins like this become. All right, so again, Chainlink has tremendous potential, but I do think you could at least get a 2x from Chainlink this year. But as far as the immediate future, it is realistic to probably see Chainlink somewhere in the range of $20 to $30. Okay, let's just say $20 as a starting point, which is fairly close when you think about it. We could probably see $20 within the next week. Again, if it continues this trend line, progresses higher, has a nice consolidation, and doesn't overextend itself, $20 in the next week is pretty realistic. It may not seem like a lot, but that would be a good 13 to 15%, somewhere in that range. And I think it's very, very realistic to see that. It could even happen sooner, but again, with its current trajectory and where it's heading so far, we need it to break this little resistance level, this temporary resistance level first, and then go from there. So I like what I see here for Chainlink. Honestly, I do feel like I'm bullish on Chainlink. I do think 2x is again likely this year, probably within the next couple of months, as if Bitcoin can continue to trend higher. Once we break past the $50,000 barrier for Bitcoin, Chainlink and other coins are going to take off. There's just no other way around it. But for right now, doing very, very well, contrary to Bitcoin being fairly stagnant in the last 24 to 40 hours. So I think that's a good sign. It's a testament to its overall sense here and how well it's going to continue to do. And you just got to kind of understand too, once Bitcoin breaks specific levels, we will probably start to see a lot more volume, and that's going to continue to maintain the price action. For now, this trend line is going to continue until it doesn't. All right. How redundant is that, right? Okay, so hopefully you found benefit and learned something here today, right? If you didn't, comment below. That's okay too. Let me know if you want to become a community member. CryptoCache.tech as a site, link in the description below. I have over somewhere between 250 and 300 members at this point. I can tell you it's a very rewarding experience. We all learn and grow together. We have weekly roundtable discussions, which are really awesome. But more importantly, I send out signals for every trade that I take, so you can learn how to become a better trader by structuring your trades effectively. Most people struggle with setting profit targets and setting trailing stop losses. Those are all things that are fully automated through my system. So it's a really cool situation. And I also have a trading academy too to kind of get you the foundations of being a better trader. I hope you learn as much as you can, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon.